Is anyone watching?
Oh, they're all watching, Matt Biolis. Welcome back. We're here in Del Mar, California. This is the boardroom. My name is Todd Klein. Alongside me, Dave Stanfield, but right now in the shaping bay, that looks like John Pizell. Dave?
Yeah, it looks like Pizell is finishing up.
And
well,
rat
I've got a great
poison.
question for one of our judges. Does it matter if you're left-handed or right-handed as a shaper?
Well, let's introduce him.
Well, let's do it.
Our guest now joining us is Matt Biolis. You've actually won the Icons of Foam in the past. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm okay.
You're sounding good.
Okay, now I started hitting the beer cart about an hour ago.
Well,
Really?
that's okay. It's past lunch.
Give me your phone. I want to Instagram you right now.
Instagram me right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my phone died about 2 hours ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you judging the Icons of Foam?
I'm the backup. I'm there to give Mark support and tell him not to be afraid to tell someone their board's not good enough, and yeah. So I'm there as a second opinion for Mark. Mark's the actual judge.
Hold it. You're playing good cop, bad cop, and you're the bad cop?
I'm always the bad cop.
Well, tell us a little bit. Give us some insight what you guys are looking for when you check out the shapes. You don't know who made them. Obviously, we know the 6 individuals who are, having the opportunity to be recognized here in the Icons of Foam with Mark Richards being,
I'm always looking for, I mean, personally, I don't know what Mark's looking for, but I'm looking for authenticity. We've been the domestic license for MR Surfboards for the last 6-7 years. So we've made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So I'm just looking for the closest representation of a stereotypical perfect MR that would come off the production line. That means the rail, the rocker, the foil, and if it's close between two boards, well, then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, and we're going to look at thickness, flow, rail, volume, rocker, everything. We'll find the best one.
Did loss come before mayhem? Hold on, let me flash back.
The chicken or the egg?
1985, Mount Baldy snowboard trip.
Well, we did a lot of Mount Baldy snowboard trips. I grew up right there. But I think my friends and I started scribbling like little Team Lost on our notebooks before we started using the Mayhem moniker. But the first product that I made was, I was making Mayhem on the surfboards before I ever tried to sell anything with the word Lost on it. So.
And when was that?
What?
What year was that you started making
I started
boards?
making surfboards in the summer of '87. And I called them, well, the first board I shaped, I called a rat's ass, because I really didn't give. Anyways, and then I think my second board and everyone after it, in some way or the other, said Mayhem on it. Yeah. That would have been June, July of '87, 25 years.
Let's jump around a bit. Quickly, Trestles is done and dusted, but how many boards did you shape before the Hurley event got underway?
The one this year?
Yeah.
I don't know. It might have been, I made boards for about 12 guys, anywhere from 3 to 10 boards per guy. I think we probably made 80, 90 boards for that contest.
Just for the pro surfers alone coming to town for the Hurley Pro.
Well, the good thing is most of them they're making good money. I wouldn't call them all wealthy, but they're paid well and they're world-class athletes, so they pay for their boards.
Yep.
The vast majority, unless they're actual team rider, like Kaloe, he doesn't pay.
Brother Andino has helped because he's a team rider, and Julian and Taj and people like that borrow his board and say, hey, I want one?
Everything that's kind of really good with our run right now with the pro athletes is, I credit the vast majority of it to the hard work we've done the last 4 years with Kaloe and his dad, Dino. And then people like Taj and Julian, they see what we're doing, and they came in and they sample it. And if you do a good job for a guy like that, they're going to stay with you.
And that group on World Tour is so tight. They talk amongst one another. They're checking out each other's boards, and they're like, hey, I got to give Matt a call. I'm heading to Trestles. I got to get 6.
It's not easy. We made boards for like 12 guys, so like 1/3 of the tour, but I think maybe 7 actually use boards in it. It's not an easy game.
Lost, Mayhem, Matt Biolis. Let's quickly touch on Chris Ward. What a character.
Where's Florida?
How's the series going?
I think it went great. I mean, it's almost over. We have basically we still have the grand finale coming, But I think it's been great. I think that he's an authentic and unique human being. He's as talented as any surfer that's ever walked the earth. And love him, hate him, disregard him, you can't ignore him.
Yeah.
What do you got next to you? You've got a pretty
Oh, this is a
bright
couch
color
potato.
board. What's this?
Couch potato.
Couch potato, so it's perfect.
So as we segue
It's
into
a
that,
couch
Dave,
potato. It's part of my domesticated series, and it's for guys that, you know, their waist size might be growing the opposite direction of their water time. You know, so you're like less hours in the water, more inches on the waist, and you need a board that can make those precious hours fun. And this board, without losing too much performance. So this board's like easy to move around in the lineup, easy to catch waves, has built-in speed, but there's enough subtle high performance characteristics in it that you can still go up and hit the lip, do complete roundhouses, and surf in a often overused term, high performance manner.
well, and speaking of which, you and I caught up a little bit at Lower Trestles, and I asked you at the time, and I'd love to, you know, have you answer it again while we're live. But how do you take the feedback from some of the world's best, like Kaloe, Taj, etc., on the equipment you shape for them, and then put it into a board for your average Joe, the guy that wants to surf as high performance as he can, but obviously doesn't have near the talent?
I think there's two ways to go, and what you're talking about is the top to bottom way. And with that way, I think you just basically need to use a higher ratio of volume for weight. So if Taj Burrow weighs 150 pounds and he's using 23.5 liters of volume, an average surfer who works all week and then goes down to the beach, you know, maybe gets in the water 3 times a week, that same surfer, I would say he should be using, you know, 15 to 20% more volume. So he can still catch the waves, he can still make a mistake while on the wave and not lose all his speed. But an average surfer, most of the boards the top pros are riding today, the average surfer can ride them. I just think they need a little extra volume in the same design.
Do you put it on a scale? Do you fill it in your hands? How do you do volume?
Oh, no. Volume is a measurement of mass. So it's not about how much the board weighs. It's a numerical measurement that really, without a water tank, you can't do on your own. You have to. The computer tells you. My CAD program tells me the volume. Yeah, and we track it and we keep really close tabs. And something that 4 years ago, I would go out on a limb and say maybe even 2 years ago, no one in the top 32 could tell you what volume their typical board is. But I would go as far as say 3/4 of them today could. Nick Fanning will say, hey, I'm 26.2. Julian will go, yeah, most of my best boards are 26.5. So I think the top guys, and then average surfers too, out in this place here, which tends to be more my passion. Working with the pro athletes is just the avenue that makes me fortunate enough to do my true passion. That's make boards like this for me and my friends. You know? And
the quad and the quad phenomenon.
Oh, so the pros are finally learning what us normal guys have known for years. Yeah.
Why? And if you had to describe somebody that is new
Why?
to surf, yeah,
Because
3 and
Jesus
4.
said it's all right when he won that contest at Tavarua a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one question, you know, going back and relating the pros and finding those parallels, a lot of guys riding shorter boards now on the World Tour. Are you seeing the average Joe also kind of react to that?
Yeah. I think they might be shorter, but the rocker's been lower, the noses are wider, there's more volume, and it's just more of a redistribution of foam.
Yep.
You know, we used to ride, I remember I used to come across you on the Pro Tour in the mid-90s, and everybody was riding boards with, you know, 11-inch
Super
noses,
narrow.
and they're really bent up, and you whack an inch off that thing and no one's going to know the difference.
Yep.
So it's just more of the rail line is being used now, more effective edge. So back then, if Andy Irons rode a 6.1, you know, by 18.5, 6-8 years ago, you could put that same effective edge into a 5.11 right now. You know, just the nose would be wider and the entry rocker would be a little lower.
Well, obviously, you're one of the guys that, you know, I'd love to sit here all day and talk with, and we'll continue to back around and jump back and forth until they tell us to get the heck out of here. But in the meantime, I want to give you some more time to plug your boards. Tell us a little bit. We talked about this couch potato. What else do we have here, and what other kind of models are the ones that are really trending for Matt Biolos and Mayhem?
So for 2013, we're doing the domesticated series, and this is the other one. This is the Lazy Boy. You know, Lazy Boy, couch potato. They're both prominent things in a domesticated household.
You got a remote, like...
And they both actually work together. This one's got a narrower nose, narrower tail, and a little more rocker. So this is basically a one-board kind of This board's designed for an average Joe, maybe a
Little
guy
more
who's
rocker,
40
that
years
thing's
old,
still
has a
flat.
couple kids, and you ride this board in, stomach high to 2-3 feet overhead, and it can handle an 8-foot face. You can still put it on a rail and turn it. It's got a lot of volume, but we neutralize the volume by having virtually no concave. It's a flat bottom, a little bit of V, so you can get that high volume board down into the water, and it's got a lot of 70s Australia, Wayne Lynch, Michael Peterson influence in the outline. It's almost a double ender. The width and the rocker are the same, 2 feet from the nose and 2 feet from the tail.
Wow.
And then the one we started with before, the couch potato, is basically its little fat little brother that you would ride like chest high and down. But this board's, it's got less entry rocker, it's got a wider nose and a wider tail. It's got pretty much the same bottom contours and the same tail rocker, so you can still fit it in the pocket and do lots of maneuvers, but it really excels in a belly button to waist high wave. For me, it's like a 2-board, mushy kind of 15 pounds overweight. I'm kind of tired and I don't want to deal with 80 people in the lineup on a potato
Let's
chip.
check out that one over there. Tell